Namaskara. This is Dr. Shivanand B. Hiremat. I'm a consulting psychiatrist practicing at Hubli, Karnataka. I'm really glad to be part of this conference and interacting with all of you. Today, the topic with which I'm going to deal is handling relationships. So, handling relationships is a very important topic for each one of us because a human being is a social animal, and without relationships, without people around us, we definitely are not going to survive healthily in this world. So, what are the objectives of this topic? The first one is to understand what a relationship is and why relationships are important, how to build relationships, and how to overcome barriers of relationship building and maintain or sustain strong relationships. So, generally, what are the types of relationships we encounter in day-to-day lives? That is, relationships at workplace, or our spouse, or girlfriend, boyfriend, our friends, our acquaintances, our friends at school, college, or outing, or walking, mere acquaintances. All these are types of relationships. So, what is a relationship? A relationship is a strong, deep, or close association, acquaintance, or bond between two or more people that may range in duration from brief to enduring. This association may be based on inference, love, solidarity, regular business interactions, or some other type of social commitment. So, why are relationships important? As I told, human being is a social animal. We really like to have that need to belong, or that sense of belonging to a community, to a group of people. So humans need to feel love, that is sexual, that can be non-sexual, and acceptance from social groups, that is family, peer groups, and groups at workplace, the society. So in fact, the need to belong is so innately ingrained that it may be strong enough to overcome physiological and safety needs, such as children's attachment to abusive parents or staying in abusive romantic relationships. In spite of being the relationships abusive, people tend to continue in that relationship because there is need to feel, need to belong to that group, need to feel love or acceptance to that group. And the second point is social exchange. Individuals engage in relationships that are rewarding in both tangible and intangible ways. This theory is based on the idea that relationships develop as a result of cost benefit analysis. Individuals seek out rewards in interactions with others and are willing to pay a cost for said rewards. The third one is relational self. Relationships are also important for ability to help individuals develop a sense of self. In other words, one's emotions and behaviors are shaped by prior experiences in handling, in initiating, and in maintaining relationships. So the relational self is also very important in maintaining a relationship. So how to build relationships? Just imagine a wheel in which you are at the hub or center, and each spoke represents a relationship with another person. That naturally sounds egotistical. It takes a lot of spokes to hold the wheel together, and the wheel is what helps move the initiative along. There is enough room in the group for everyone to create their own wheel of strong relationships. The point is that you have to take the time to set up and sustain relationships. If you wait for others to establish relationships with you first, you may spend a lot of time waiting. So be the first one to initiate building relationships. Just a reminder, it doesn't make sense to form relationships just to get people to do work for you. That won't work because people will feel they are being used. Community builders approach relationships with integrity. We form relationships because we genuinely like someone. Not only we need to extract some work from that person. We form relationships because we genuinely like someone, because we have something to offer to that person, or because we share some common goal among ourselves. Uh, I'll try to briefly give certain points, certain tips to build healthy relationships. First one being build relationships one at a time. Fortunately or unfortunately, there are no shortcuts in this method. Sending out a newsletter or a message or a WhatsApp text helps us keep in touch with lots of people, but it's no substitute for getting to know a real person. We have to interact with them, be it face to face, be it over chats or over phone, but we should know the person in real to build relationship. Be friendly and make a connection. This may seem self evident, but a friendly word or a smile can make someone's day. Try to find something in common. All of us want to have close connections with our fellow humans, isn't it? So, if we have common topics to discuss, definitely we will have one or the other. So, if we can find out and if we can start interaction, then probably we can make a connection with them, and it will be easier to build relationship with them. Ask people questions. People love to talk about themselves and about what they think, isn't it? If you ask people about themselves and then take time to listen attentively, they can become your fast friend. You should always lend your ear, and then definitely things are going to get a lot easier. Tell people about yourself, not only listening about them, not only asking about them. You should also be ready to tell about yourself. People won't trust you unless you are willing to trust them. Tell them what you genuinely care about and what you think about. Go places and do things. If you want to make friends, you have to go where the people are. I mean, be it socialization, conferences, parties, picnics, events, fundraisers, playgrounds, bowling alleys, or any social gatherings for that matter. You should go there. You should try to interact. You will get a lot of people belonging to different fields and walks of life. Then you can make a connection with them. Accept people the way they are. You don't have to agree with them all the time in order to form a relationship with them, but no one likes to be judged. Just accept the way they are and then try to be as non judgmental as possible. Assume other people want to form relationships too. Probably there is one guy who wants to connect with others, who wants to make friends with others, but because of his innate nature of being introvert or being not mingling with others, he's not able to do it. Underneath the crabbiest looking person is often a lonely soul hoping someone will make a crack in their shell. You'll probably find out what kind of a person he or she is. If he or she is introvert, then probably you will have to take the first step first. Overcome your fear of rejection. Most of us suffer from a fear of rejection, and there's only one thing to do about that: just get over it. If you want to form relationships, plan on being rejected some of the times. Nobody is perfect. Getting rejected is absolutely fine, it's natural. You will be richly rewarded the rest of the time with the new relationships you have made. Be persistent, be consistent. People are often shy and suspicious. It takes a while to win trust. You can almost always form a relationship if you stick with it, if you persist with it. Invite people to get involved. People want to become part of something bigger than themselves. Many people are looking for an opportunity to meet other people who share common goals. At the worst, people will be flattered that you invited them to join. So please invite them. If there is any event, if you are hosting some parties, invite them. You'll have a great social gathering and you'll make a lot of connections, a lot of relationships. Enjoy people. If you genuinely enjoy people, others will be attracted to your attitude. People will more likely want to be around you. We have that one guy or girl in our group or in our surrounding that many people like that guy or girl, isn't it? So they're so easygoing, they're adorable, they're liked by so many people. They can easily make connection with most of the people in the group. That happens because they enjoy being in the crowd. They enjoy being with people genuinely. So try to do that. Don't be there only for the sake of it. Please try to genuinely enjoy the situation, the event. You might ask me a question: what about people of different cultural backgrounds than your own? It happens when you go abroad for higher studies, or if you go out of your hometown to some different state where language, culture, religion, and all other things are different. You might feel that culture shock. Then what you should do? You assume that somebody from Africa has come to your college for a course. Then how you are going to make a relationship with them? The first and foremost thing is learn about the person's culture, because things which are funny in our culture may be offensive in theirs, or vice versa. So try to learn as much as possible about the culture. Any effort will go a long way in showing that you care enough to find out about the reality of another person's life and culture. Put yourself at the center of another person's culture, especially if you are getting to know someone who is not a part of majority culture. Try going to their cultural events where you are the minority. If you are in some other country, if you're willing to take risks and put yourself in a situation in which you might feel uncomfortable, people will be more inclined to want to get to know you. If, for example, if you are a Kannadiga or a Tamilian in Delhi and you choose to stay with your group, you might not reach out to more people, or more people, the natives might not reach out to you. But at the same time, if you go and try to mingle with them, try to learn their language, their culture, probably more people will be inclined to want to get to know you and be with you. Take a stand against the person's oppression. Actions speak louder than words. People who experience oppression need allies to speak out against injustice. Strong relationships are forged when people act courageously on behalf of each other. It's okay to make mistakes. You may have to make mistakes as you build relationships with people who have different cultural backgrounds than your own, but people are generally forgiving, especially if your intentions are good. Remember, hang in there even if you feel rejected. That is the principle. How do you overcome barriers of relationship building and maintain strong relationships? Few points. What if the relationship goes really messy? There is a healthy relationship wheel about which I'll discuss in the subsequent slides. Many relationships get messy sooner or later, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, sometimes people need a good fight or a clearing of the air in order to get relationship back on track. जहाँ झगड़ा होता है वहां वहीं प्यार रहता है, और या जहाँ प्यार रहता है वहीं झगड़े होते हैं. A conflict doesn't mean the relationship has to come to an end. Yes, this is a temporary phenomenon. And we must remember, we often fight with the people we care about the most and with whom we share our greatest hopes. So, what we should do if there is a misunderstanding, if there is a conflict between two of us with whom we share a relationship, take time to listen to each other. According to a survey, most of the fights happen because between two people happen because both of them want to talk. Nobody wants to listen. So, even though it is not easy, each person should take time to listen without interrupting while the other person talks. Empathy is the most important thing in present human lives. If everybody becomes empathetic, then I don't think there will be any problems in this world. So please put yourself in others' shoes. Please try to imagine yourself in their situation, and see how you respond, how you react to such situation. Look at what is true about what the other person is saying. See if you can correct the situation. If you need to apologize, go ahead. It may feel a little horrible, awkward, but an apology can often help a relationship get back on the right track. A sorry is definitely a solution in most of the situations. We should always separate our emotions from reality. Being practical is very important if we are about to solve the conflicts in relationships. Everyone has emotions that surface intermittently, of course. People often say things they don't mean when they are in the middle of an emotional upset. When somebody is very angry, he might blurt out something very rubbish. Originally, he might not have intended to say that, but still, because of that emotional turmoil, he ends up saying that. So, allow time and space for people to feel their emotions before you try to work things out. Continue to appreciate and respect each other, even though it may be difficult. Focus on the positive aspects of the relationship. If you if you model appreciation, the other person will definitely follow. So appreciate the good things. Don't always point out about the negative things in the person in front of you. Try to subtly tell them that this is not a good thing, or this is not the thing which I like. But if you model appreciation, the other person will often follow. Speak from your heart. As you try to unravel the difficulty, keep focused on what you and the other person care about most: the goals of the project, each other, community, the family, the society, the parents, etc. Don't give up on your principles. To save a relationship, you need not compromise to the extreme. Don't sacrifice what you believe in just to make a relationship work. If you give up on your principles, you won't be effective and the relationship won't work anyway. Hang in there when things get hard. You can take some breathing room, but try not to give up on the relationship altogether. When things are the toughest, there are important lessons to be learned. There are important lessons to be learned. It's best to keep a relationship that you have invested your time and caring into. You can act independently to improve relationship. Even if the other person or group of people is acting rotten, you can act in a way that is positive, respectful, constructive, and thoughtful. This may surprise people and they may follow your lead. So always try to be a model in a good way. Then, how do you sustain relationships? I think we have covered most of it. Last pearls of wisdom: give attention to people, communicate openly and healthily, appreciate each other, and extend yourself in case there is need. So, to sustain a healthy relationship, respect differences without expressing judgments. So, I hope with this brief presentation, with these brief tips, you will be able to handle relationships in a little better way than before. If you have any queries, kindly write to me. My email ID is bhshiv@gmail.com. And I really thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. The best thing to spend on your relationship is time, conversation, understanding, and honesty. Thank you so much.